Now I'm joined by Chuck Simmons from the Simmons Mortgage Group at Wintrust Mortgage. Chuck, it's so nice to have you here. And
thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about yourself and your background and your team.
Sure, sounds great. As you said, I'm with the Simmons Mortgage Group at Wintrust Mortgage. I've been in the business for almost 20 years. I've been with Wintrust for about 5 now. Wintrust is a division of Barrington Bank, so we are a bank. We're the mortgage division of the bank. And then in that role, I am a market manager, so I run all the branches in Iowa and then Nebraska. And then we have, with Simmons Mortgage Group, I also lead a team that works with families through the home buying process. So, you know, and one of the things, you know, one of the main things we do there is we'll work with buyers. We'll kind of explain all the options. I kind of like to say we're a full service lender. And what that means is we've got a lot of different things that we can offer as far as first time home buyers, condo financing, really you name it, and we can do it. So, you know, we're...
So, are there any sort of special grants that are available in this area for first-time home buyers?
Yeah, there are grants available. You don't even have to be a first-time home buyer. So the Iowa Finance Authority has a lot of programs out there that work for first-time home buyers and move-up buyers. Included in that is a grant, like a $2,500 grant that can be used for down payment or closing costs. They also have a $5,000 grant for veterans, so for qualified veterans, anyone who has served for 90 days since 9/11 of 2001, they may qualify for up to $5,000, which can also be used for down payment or closing costs. So
that could be huge.
Yeah, it's great, and so you know that helps a lot of first-time home buyers. And like I said, it works for move-up buyers. Not every lender can offer that, so that's something that people need to know is if they're working with a lender, make sure that if they're interested in those grants that they're finding out if they're an IFA participating lender. They can go right to IFA's website, which is www.iowafinanceauthority.gov, to find out who those participating lenders are and make sure that they have all those options available.
But you are one of them.
Yeah, we are a participating lender.
So what are some tips when someone is thinking about getting ready for that pre-approval process?
Sure. You know, the first thing is in the process, you know, altogether, what they'll want to do is look at getting pre-approved. That sort of sets the stage for what somebody can qualify for. And what we will do is we'll sit down with them. They'll want to pull credit, you know, so that we can. Credit right now is such a big determining factor in everything from programs to rates that we'll want to sit down and kind of go through that and find out, you know, when we sit down with them, we'll find out what they're comfortable with as far as either a purchase price or more importantly, a payment range. And what borrowers should be doing is looking at it. We have what I call kind of do's and don'ts. They're going to want to gather all the information that they can, you know, pay stubs, taxes, W-2s, bank statements, things that are going to help the lender be able to determine what they really qualify for. And then, you know, there's also, they're going to want to make sure that they are staying away from any large purchases right ahead. We see that a lot, where, you know, we'll be in the middle of a process and somebody will buy furniture or they'll buy a car. And that just makes it more difficult and sometimes can really, you know, hurt the process.
Yeah. So when someone gets an official pre-approval from you, how long does that last?
Typically 90 days, but with that being said, a lot of the documents we would need to refresh. So if it takes, you know, over 30 days or 45 days, we will talk to our buyers and we will make sure we might need an updated pay stub, we might need an updated bank statement. But the pre-approval itself is good for 90 days. Credit reports last typically 120 days. So if you have somebody who's just at the very beginning stages, we'll get them pre-approved. We'll make sure that they can go out and look with confidence, but we might have to refresh some things or possibly pull credit if you know, they're 6 to 9 months down the road.
You know, what about if someone has some credit challenges?
Sure. We've got a few different things that we do with people with credit challenges, and we work with a number of them. First thing that we'll do is, if they're just not ready to buy yet, if whatever is on their credit is either too recent or just something we need to work on, we'll sit down with them and we'll develop a plan. And I'll give them a best guess as far as if it's a 3 to 6 month plan, 6 to 9 month. In some cases, it may be 12 months or more. And we'll give them a list of things that they should be doing, and then we'll stay in contact with them just to make sure and check the progress and see how things are going. We also have something, a credit simulator, a scenario where we're able to actually, work with the buyer and sort of run some, different hypothetical situations with their credit, which would show us, what their score could improve to if they made some changes. Most common one would be if they, if they have their balances are real close to their limits on credit cards. That makes a big difference on their credit score. So what we can do is show, okay, if you paid down to this certain amount, here's how your credit score would rise. And so what we see with that, we've had people where it's only taken anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to improve their credit to the point where maybe they didn't qualify before and now they do. We also have buyers who qualify now, but they like doing that simulator because it can help improve their credit score and actually help them qualify for either lower rates or get them a better rate on mortgage insurance if they have to pay mortgage insurance.
So education's a huge component to what you do then.
Yeah, definitely.
So what if someone is building a new home and it might be 6 months out or so before they're able to close?
Right. We've got a few different things. First of all, we'd get them pre-approved now. We'd go through the normal pre-approval process. If they have that purchase agreement, if they're doing new construction, we will get everything started. There's not a lot we can do when they're that far out, as far as sometimes it's too early to do an appraisal. We'll start the underwriting process, but we know we're going to need to refresh all of those documents. We're going to need to pull new credit. We're going to have to do all of those things. So we'll get that process started for them, and then we will just monitor and make sure that everything we can do up front we're doing, and then sort of have a timeline for as we get a little bit closer to make sure everything else falls into place.
So anything that can be done to protect that interest rate?
There are programs out there that allow for an extended rate lock, and so you could lock rates actually for up to 360 days.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, so, and with that, the way that will work is we would take what a normal rate is today for, say, 60 days. There are a few add-ons to it. As far as cost, it depends on how long you're going for, but it would, look at possibly, there might be some additional cost to it.
But it can be done.
But it can be done.
That is fantastic information, and really appreciate that education that you give to clients.
You bet.
Thank you so much, Chuck.
Thank you.